Hi, I'm attorney Jesse White, and I know you're probably thinking, why in the world would I ever trust a guy sitting here wearing a Superman t-shirt to handle my property tax reassessment? And the answer is simple, is because this is one of those issues that I've been at the forefront of for about 5 years now, and I know more about than just about any attorney practicing in Washington County, and I can back that up. So for the previous 8 years, and from 2006 until 2014, I was a member of the Pennsylvania General Assembly of the State House of Representatives. And one of the issues that came up during that time was property tax reassessment. It was pretty contentious because you had a couple of school districts, McGuffey and Washington, suing to force the county to go ahead with a reassessment. And so it was court ordered. And the commissioners signed off on it back in the day, agreeing to do it, without really, I think, understanding what all that meant. And what I did was sit down and really learn the issue, and I realized why they were trying to do what they were trying to do. And it's real simple. The school districts tried to force a reassessment under a really bad system in order to be able to raise our taxes across the board with really no recourse for normal taxpayers. And it's a little more complicated than that, but that's what it really turned out to in a nutshell. And when I realized that, it made me angry, and I decided to try to fight it. So I fought it through the courts. I joined in some of the lawsuits and went and actually testified as a state representative in the Court of Common Pleas on behalf of the taxpayers. I wrote a 200 and some page brief. We passed legislation in Harrisburg that was pretty landmark legislation to try to reform the way property tax reassessments were done in Pennsylvania. The problem was, because of the agreement that the commissioners had made back in 2009, we weren't able to implement those new standards in time in order to make them effective for the reassessment that we all just saw the results of right here. So what this means is, in plain English, is that by and large, the information that they use to come up with these assessments is garbage. It's what we call garbage in and garbage out. There was kind of no good way to do it because they didn't have the tools at their disposal. It wasn't possible. Not to say they didn't make their best efforts, but it just wasn't possible. As a result, that means there were a lot of mistakes that were made. And I think that one of the things that we need to be able to do as taxpayers is stand up for ourselves and say, wait a minute, this was a bad, flawed process. And if you have sticker shock like I think I do and many other people I've talked to have, you realize that we need to actually step up and say something about it to protect ourselves and to protect our checkbooks. Because it's pretty clear that the school districts that pushed this lawsuit aren't going to do anything about it. And a lot of the people that stand to gain from all this, higher taxes, aren't going to do anything about it. So this is one of those times where you need to have someone in your corner that's not been afraid to take these people on head on. So this is my sales pitch to you. I've been trying to tell everybody for 5 years now that this process was total garbage and it was going to be garbage. And that garbage manifested itself in the form of a reassessment notice in your mailbox today. And I know exactly how the reassessment process is flawed. I know where I know things that we could point out to try to drive those values back to the right area. There are a lot of other issues that need to be brought up, for example, drilling in the area for natural gas and the impact that that's going to have on property values. There's a lot of things that you could talk about to try to get that value back down to something that's a little more realistic. So why me? Why hire me? It's really simple. Unlike most of the other lawyers that are sending out big, fancy brochures and letters and packages about why they should be hired, I don't have a horse in this race. I don't represent anybody on the other side. I don't represent school districts. I don't represent any of the taxing authorities. I don't represent any of the big businesses in the county that sat back and let this happen. I've been for the people for my entire career, and that's one of the reasons that I'm no longer in Harrisburg, is because I had no problem whenever I saw good, normal people getting the screws put to them, stepping up and saying something. And the powers that be really didn't like that. So this is an issue that I really know about. It's near and dear to my heart, and I want to be able to now to take that knowledge and experience that I have and help normal taxpayers. So what we've done is we've put a form right here on our website. We're going to ask you to click on it and give us some basic information, and we'll get in touch with you. And one of the things that we're going to do, unlike other law firms, is we'll work with you if money's an issue. Because for most people, I know for a fact, money's an issue. And we've even got some options where you're not going to have to put anything down unless we're able to save you money on the backside. So please take a moment, fill out the form, submit it, and someone from my office will get back in touch with you. Be aware, there is a timing element in this. You only have a little over a month or so in order to get this stuff in. So you can't, this isn't one of those things you can just sit around and say, we'll deal with it a little bit later. You've got to deal with it now, or you're going to get hit with a really nasty tax bill in the near future. So please take a minute, fill out the form. You can contact me via social media. You can call the office at 724-926-4444. And I look forward to helping as many of you as I possibly can. And we can finally prove the theory that we've been trying to put out for years, which is this was a poorly done idea, done for all the wrong reasons, and it's not going to sit well with the taxpayers, and we're going to stand up and let our voices be heard. Look forward to talking to you. Thank you.